Hey guys, it's your girl NitaPOP. I got a big interview today with Ghanaian actress MaameYaa Boafo, lead actress Miss NaameYaa of An African City. We're doing this via Skype, so let me go ahead and get online with her right now. So hey guys, I am now online with Miss MaameYaa Boafo. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So I did come across you through An African City, and I just felt like it was delivering the same mission statement that my whole brand is, and it's just merging culture and showing culture as it has evolved over the years. Okay. So before we get into all that, I want to go ahead and let you start talking about who MaameYaa is.
I am a Ghanaian. I never lived there. Didn't grow up there. I was born in Pakistan and I was raised all over the world, but I do call Ghana my home. It's the only passport that I carry. That's the citizenship that I am. And I'm an actor. I studied French and broadcast journalism undergrad, and then I decided I wanted to study acting for my master's. So I am a professional actor. The first show that I did once I graduated was Educational Tour of Hamlet. I played Ophelia. And then about a year after that, or no, actually a few months after that, I did another tour where I was it was a cast of 4 of us, and we got to play different characters, and we just toured around. It was a campaign for anti-bullying. And then I did my first film project in 2010. It was a film called Aza, Beautiful Girl. And since then I've been doing more camera work. But currently right now, and today's actually my closing day, I'm in a play called Lift. It's a world premiere play, so it's been really fun to originate this character. And it's written by Walter Mosley. I've been doing that for 3 weeks. It's a lot of fun, and it just made me realize how I will never not do theater. Theater is a different ball game, and it's something fantastic. So
do you prefer? Really, sorry.
I don't know if I have a preference right now. They're both 2 different forms of art. You need 2 different kind of skills for each one, and I enjoy both. But theater is what got me to love acting, being in school plays and whatnot, and from then, watching movies and just being inspired. So I like both. I love both. I'm actually writing a screenplay, so it's
awesome.
Not for stage, it's for the screen.
Awesome.
So I'm writing something right now, and I'm going to continue working until I feel that it's ready to be talked about and to be, to be viewed. It's the first film that I've done, and it did get an award. It did. The director got an award for Best Short Film. So it was great, to do my first film project and for it to get an award. So yeah, that's the first one. It's actually based on a true story. It's based on the producer's story, and she was born in the States, and then she went back to Nigeria, and she grew up basically in foster homes and had to deal with that. And then once she became a teenager, her mother decided she wanted to bring her back to the States. So it's sort of like a returnee story as well. The story ends with her about to go to the airport. So it's a short, and we're going to be developing it into a feature film one of these days. But it's about this girl's journey with what she had to go through being in a foster home in Nigeria, and how she finds her way to the States and how she deals with life in the States based on what's happened to her in the past. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm eclectic. I think that's the best way to describe myself. Being raised in Europe and East Africa and visiting all these countries, I'm very influenced by my upbringing and my interests, and I like a little bit of everything. I don't tie myself down to any genre. I would just say I'm eclectic.
How did you come across the whole African City?
I actually found this audition notice on an actor group on Facebook in 2010, 2009. I had graduate from school, and I was about to move to New York. I didn't know anyone there. I didn't know much about the acting community there, but someone had mentioned this, a couple actor groups on Facebook. So, I just went on and I saw this posting and I was like, okay, let me try out for it. And I actually had to rush the day that the audition. I had to go somewhere out of town. So I did a quick audition and then I had to leave and they're like, okay, can you please send us a monologue and tape it and email it to us? So I did that and then they offered me a part and I've been on part of the African City team ever since.
So how much of NaameYaa is MaameYaa?
The only thing that NaameYaa and I have in common is that, we both love our country. I speak Tree. NaameYaa is learning Tree. You don't know or you don't hear about NaameYaa's siblings yet. I have 3 brothers. I'm an only girl. I'm not spoiled, though. I have a younger brother who I'm 11 years older than, so he's the spoiled one. Yeah, we both love Ghana, and I because I never lived there, there's so much I want to learn. I have so much more to learn, and so in that aspect, I'm like NaameYaa, doing my best to find out more about my country. I'm a proud Ghanaian, even though I'm not, there currently physically.
I understand. That's how I feel.
I do everything to support my country. I can't wait till World Cup, Black Stars.
What's your favorite episode of An African City?
I like all of them. I do. I had so much fun shooting all of them. The girls are amazing. The crew was so much fun. And I watch all of these episodes when everyone else sees them.
Aww.
I get to see all of them. I didn't get to see the edited version. So every Sunday it's something new for me too. Every single episode has something special. There's a tidbit, something factual, something important that you need to know that we want to bring across to the world about Ghana. You get to learn more about the culture shocks that we're going through in each episode. The fashion is on point. So, it's like, oh, what are they going to wear next? I love all of them. I really do. I think, God willing, in the next season, we're going to go deeper with the topics. We just touched on skin bleaching and HIV and rent and expats and all of that. So, in the next season, we're going to go deeper. So I love the fact that each episode in this season gives you a taste of what's to come and also gives you a taste of what we're dealing with in Ghana and outside of Ghana. Anyone can relate to this. I have friends who are Afropolitans and they don't live in their home country. They're, in the Western world and they're like, I can totally relate to this. So I love the fact that it's something that everyone can relate to. My mom had a hard time with me being natural. I used to have long permed hair and I decided to go natural in 2008, but I wasn't planning on cutting it. I was just planning on transitioning it. But somehow I ended up cutting it, and my mom was like, "Oh, MaameYaa, eh?" And every time she would see me, she'd always try to every phone call I would have with her, because my parents have retired and they live in Ghana. She'd always be like, and it's okay for you to put some perm in your hair today, or well, why don't you put a little, you're getting married, put some perm in your hair. But she's finally accepted it. She finally, is cool with it. I mean, she was natural when she was a kid, but for some people, they're so wrapped around the idea of having long hair or weaves or braids to look beautiful. And I'm glad with the little Afro fluff I have on top of my head, and I'm gonna rock it the way that I can. And I think it's important that we have people who embrace that. But yeah, true. There are people in Ghana who don't see that as beautiful. They're doing everything that they can to remove any sort of hint that you have natural hair, perms and weaves and all the posters of what is considered beautiful. So I'm glad that we bring this topic up. And it's really great to see that there are natural a lot of women with natural hair in Ghana. I saw a lot of them, so it's catching up.
I feel like it has a lot to do with, well, when I went to school in Ghana, I remember I had to cut my hair. And having a perm was just something that was so like, oh my goodness. I wish I could have a perm and I'll have long hair. I can't wait till I'm done with school. So yeah, I think that's just what that mentality has carried on. All right.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that. I definitely did have roadblocks being an actor. I come from a very supportive family, so when I told them I wanted to be an actor, they were like, "Okay, make sure you get a degree," you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did know that I wanted to get a degree. I wanted to go to grad school for acting, and I didn't get in my first year. I had very little experience. I had done school plays growing up, and I didn't even get very big parts. You know, I was just like a choral member or something. And then undergrad, when I was studying French and broadcast journalism, there was a Shakespeare company down the street. So, you know, I got myself involved with them, and they actually gave me my first professional job. I was a courtesan in a summer production of Comedy of Errors. And through that, I started building relationships with them, and they wrote my letter of recommendation and stuff, but I still didn't have much experience. So I went out and auditioned for graduate school. My first year didn't get in, and then my second year I was like, I'm going to do this again. And I auditioned for Rutgers the second time, and the auditor, who ended up being my teacher once I got to Rutgers, was like, you know, I remember you from last year. I remember your picture. I remember that smile on your picture, and you know, you weren't specific enough. And so I'm going to give you another chance to do your monologue, and I want you to be as specific as you can, really be this person. And so as I was doing it, you know, it just dawned on me, you know, I did a piece from a South African play called Valley Song, and actually, Akosua Busia, one of my role models, was in this play. And all of a sudden it just hit me what I was talking about, and from then on, that monologue, it just flowed through. And that one note that she told me about being specific, I mean, it's so obvious, but just her telling me that, just telling me to like, okay, do it again, be specific, it really helped. And then that you know, I went in, I got accepted to Rutgers. So, you know, it can be 2 times more than 2 times, whatever, but you have to keep trying. If you truly believe that this is what you have to do, be it acting, be it anything, grad school, med school, whatever, you know, try again. If you truly know, and you know, there's no one else who can tell you whether you can do it or not. It's up to you, but you have to be sure that you want to do it, because if you are going to do it, you have to give 100%. So that's my inspirational story for you guys. What is culture shock? Culture shock is being unfamiliar with someone else's customs and traditions, but I guess the response to that is what shocks you, because it turns out to be hostile. You know, you might not know something and you're asking and they're like, didn't you know? It's assuming, they're assuming that you know this or you have to do this. There's no explanation, there's no understanding, and that's where the shock comes in. I've had that so many times over and over again. I haven't been to Bulgaria, but my Bulgarian friend told me that when you do this, it means no, and when you do this, it means yes. So just imagining going to Sofia and doing this and meaning, you know, so that right there would be a culture shock. But I think that, you know, shows like yours and An African City, and there's just so much resource out there, so many movies that are out there. There's no excuse for ignorance. Yeah. You know, and living in New York, it's a melting pot, and I think people, there's no excuse for ignorance, and I think people need to be more understanding. People need to be more compassionate and see that other people are trying to learn things about their culture. I just got Twitter. Cool. So you can find Twitter, MaameYaa Boafo. I'm on Instagram. Those are the 2 things I'm on most. I also have a website, www.MaameYaaBoafo.com. Yeah, that's me. You can find me, and I love talking to people, answering questions for them. So hit me up.
Yeah, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and I look forward to seeing what else you have in store for us.
Thank you. I'll keep you guys updated.
So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's NitaPOP again. I was sitting behind the camera so we can make sure we focused on the computer. MaameYaa Boafo was a very humble soul. She was very inviting. She talked to us about things that I felt like me as someone who is now a fan wanted to know. I know now, and you know. So tune in to itsnitapop.com. If you have an artist that you want me to interview, you can send me an email at contact@itsnitapop.com, or if you want to send me some music, skits, stories, at submissions@itsnitapop.com. Make sure you go to An African City on YouTube and watch episode 1 through 10. And thank you for tuning in to itsnitapop.com. Subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube. Subscribe to the blog for email updates on all the events that we have coming up. We'll be talking more about Culture Shock. I'll be having a few more interviews as we go on. And Culture Shock is July 19th, so hopefully I see you there.